Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Do you guys remember that one time in 2020 where we all got an announcement that we'd have a 2 week break from school? What a time to have a break, right? We all just learned from our homes, from our gadgets, and we sat back, relaxed, and listened to the teacher explain. This system was called online learning, and we thought it would only be a system for a little while. But suddenly, the pandemic struck, and we had to adapt to the same exact system for a whopping 2 to 3 years. Which then begs the question, is e learning more effective in today's era, or is classroom learning still a better option? After all, it's the 20th century now, with all of these technological advancements, like AI. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. My name's Raysha Yumna Alifah, and I'm from Taruna Bakti Senior High School. Before we start, I'd like to thank God Almighty for allowing us to be here in good condition, and I'd like to thank the judges and the staff for allowing me to speak on this topic today. So, the question I asked before, I'm sure all of us have at least asked it once. May it be a student, teachers, or even parents. We all need to know which one is more effective for us to learn, especially since education is an important thing, right? Once you compare the two, e-learning and classroom learning, you find that both of them have their own pros and their cons, though some pros do outweigh some cons. For example, distractions. During e-learning, it's really easy to get distracted because our home is not a controlled environment. I'm sure we all have at least opened our phone once or twice during an important school meeting to scroll or to play a game, right? Let's just be honest here. This is because of the fact that our home is not a controlled environment and we need a lot of self control to focus on our studies. And I'm sure kids nowadays do need a little bit of help to stay disciplined. Meanwhile, at school, it's more of a controlled environment. The teacher is able to supervise us and make sure we focus. Other than keeping focused, the teacher is also present in the moment in classroom learning, allowing us to have a more lively discussion with the teacher, ask questions, and have a bit more of a warmer and more harmonious environment in class, which is something that you can't get through e-learning. Though I do think that e-learning is a great supplement. It could be a great help for when we want to study something outside of our academics, like interests or hobbies, such as crocheting, coding, and many more. E-learning is also much more accessible nowadays. You can easily buy a course or find a tutor online. And if you're sick, you can also still learn because you can learn from any gadget that you have. But what's my point of view? Which one is better for our studies? From my point of view, I think that classroom learning is really an important thing for our main studies. Not only because it helps us keep focused, and not only because of the materials taught at school, but also because of the fact that in classroom learning, we're able to learn how to build social connections and social networks. Because at school, you know when you discuss your homework with your friends, or it's break time and you discuss with the teacher what the next period's gonna be about? Those are some of the things that make studying worthwhile, because you have people to study with. While e-learning is kind of hard to build that connection. But as I said before, e-learning is a great tool to help us deepen our knowledge that we have learned at classroom learning. So really, it's not about one or the other, but more of a balance of both. But after all, we're all different people. We need to find our own way that we study according to our personalities and our studying styles. Thank you for listening to my speech. Have a nice day!